Demolition is something that we planned very early on in this project. We conceptualized that the demolition would occur following the 2016 football season, but after further design and further logistics planning on the project, we decided that it would be a benefit to the entire project to move it up in 2015 for the 2016 season.
We met with Brandenburg, our subcontractor. We did a post-bid review, issued a contract, and immediately received an insurance certificate and safety program. Brandenburg did a very good job of preparing the paperwork. However, we met several times and walked the press box to make sure they understood exactly each item that needed to be demoed, the items that needed to be salvaged, and the items that were not to be disturbed at all.
In past projects that we have done, we have demolished the press box as those press boxes did not interfere with the new structure, so we were able to keep them separate. These two structures, both the existing press box and the new press box, are actually in the same footprint. So when we started building this building, the west building, we needed to leave out a section of this structure in order to build around the existing press box. That creates some logistical challenges for both the mechanical and electrical subcontractors working on the inside of the building, but also creates a significant challenge for us to demolish the press box from up and over the top of the new steel structure behind me.
When we decided to remove the press box this year, we then identified a list of items that we were going to need to either disconnect, relocate, or salvage from the existing press box. After we identified that list, we began to put together the project manual for the demolition of the press box. After that was done, we began sending iterations out to all the different departments that are involved in the current press box. After they had time to go through those, we then invited them in to meet with us and give us their feedback on the project manual and what they thought needed to be changed.
One of the key elements of the project manual was finding out where we were going to be placing all the people who currently sit in the press box and their new locations in the east and west towers. With this, we had to sit down with all the key stakeholders and meet with them separately to find what they wanted out of their new spaces and the temporary needs they would have, as well as how much of the permanent needs we could give them for the 2016 season. We wanted to do as much permanent as possible, that way they're very comfortable in this environment. Something that we looked at was that this will be an active construction site while they're in these spaces, so we wanted to make sure that it was as safe as possible for them. So as far as they know, they're not actually on a construction site, and it's just their permanent space that they're in.
We were able to document how the existing press box space fit within the new structures on both the east and west side for the 2016 season.
After acceptance of our relocation plan by the University of Notre Dame, we communicated amongst our superintendent crew to determine what the best practices were and to get ourselves up to speed. We had a reduced timeline to get the work planned, so we split it up amongst ourselves. I took part in the mechanical and electrical cut and capping, shutting off gas, plumbing, and pulling all the power out to make sure the building was safe to remove.
Another key element of the project would be the impact the demolition is going to have on the existing enclosure. Areas of concern would be protecting the concession stands below from falling debris. In front of the stands, we put up scaffolding and plywood to protect the existing bleachers from any falling debris that comes off the press box in the demolition process.
Additionally, we also had to consider the waste of the existing components in the building, such as the structural members. A lot of times you get some pretty heavy iron in those buildings. So it's a good thing to take a look at the existing drawings so you can get a good idea of what to expect before you start lifting with the crane.
So once the dumpsters are brought on site and all of the safety measures are in place, Brandenburg has a bobcat placed at each level, 4 levels. Those bobcats are used to remove the construction debris. The construction debris is then lifted with the crane and placed into dumpsters, which they'll probably be going through at least 80 dumpsters for the construction debris. 20 of those dumpsters will be for the steel that is going to be recycled and salvaged by a local firm here in South Bend, and 30 dumpsters of concrete. November 30th of 2015 was the date we started demolition. We prepared our subcontractors working with us to notify them they cannot be working in any area where the demolition is in process. Brandenburg mobilized, they set up their dumpster, they brought out their bobcats, placed it on each floor. They removed the roof deck first. The roof deck had several of the Musco lights. They set up catch decks at the perimeter of the press box to catch any of the flying debris and place fire tarps on the catch decks in order to avoid any concerns with spark. Once the rigging crew started on the roof deck, the gut-out crew went inside to do several of the soft demolition. And in addition to, they also had to remove all of the elevator rails, guides, cables that were part of the demolition plan. Our subcontractor will be working non-stop to complete the demolition of the press box. They were allowed 12 days with 2 12-hour shifts. The existing crane that was on site for the erection of our steel on the west building was configured with an additional 30 foot of main boom in order for the crane to reach from the west side of the west building to extend over to the field side of the press box. The heaviest pick has been 25,000 pounds. They picked one of the steel members. Several of the steel members after that were cut up in pieces and removed.
The demolition of an existing press box in an existing stadium around the new structure represents a significant challenge to our team that we are very excited about how it's coming together and how it has concluded. It represents a significant amount of effort by all team members involved. We're thankful that the university allowed us to take it down 1 year in advance, and to all of our subcontractors who have been making safety a priority on this project, get it done safely and on time.